looking at what is coming inside of Cloverspell this year, we even have some new monster sound teasers, so make sure to keep watching, y'all. Messy Monsters, they have just uploaded a new Department of Monster Anomalies video. Inside of these videos, we always get new monster teasers, and they are usually trap these new monsters inside of cages or in environments held inside of them. And this video, it shows more images where another monster is being held. This monster inside of the video is described as weakening at dawn and increasing at dusk. And so this we propose, what do we know that does this? What monster class inside of the game is, of course, our Paironormals. So this latest teaser is teasing a brand new paranormal monster arriving very soon. So this new monster then, is there anything else that we can work out about it? Well, later in the video, there is a sound sneak peek. So let's take a listen at that. If you guys ignore the wind background noise there, at the very end of the clip there was a sound that played, and this sound is the same beats per minute as Faerie Island. So this confirms that the Faerie Island Paironormal is going to be our next one, and very befitting so, as we have been revealed in game this Wednesday, Cloverspell is going to be beginning as well. But if only we had more of a preview at this, as let's be real here, that sound teaser, that was no video. It was so short, but don't worry guys, because we have more sounds as well that have been in another Messy Monsters video. In this Monster Compendium video, in the background, you could hear a new Faerie Island sound playing inside of the Faerie Island song. Take a listen here, guys.
What that may bring. The monster's focus on me didn't last very long.
And also to a more refined version by wonderful Logan Peters here as well. If you guys were listening close there, you might have heard a new instrument playing along with Hippity Hop's verse there. And it is in fact the jaw harp. The jaw harp is such a weird, crazy, and wacky instrument, but also it fits Faerie Island so well. That bouncy, lively, lovely, we love that sound. This one, just like the harmonica you play from your mouth if you're listening on the screen right now, and it's a playful, circus almost like instrument. It really fits that Cloverspell, go-lucky vibe that you really find inside of the song, especially with fiddle and that atmosphere that Faerie provides. It's honestly so befitting this sound that is playing on the screen right now, and I'm so happy behind the jaw harp coming as well. But it's quite distorted still, the sound, as we are listening over a version where the microphone audio has been removed here. So let's actually go on over to Alcala, as they have made a prediction here as well based off this, what it could sound like. So let's have a listen. Alcala's prediction, absolutely wonderful. It is bouncy, lively, lovely. I'm going to repeat that so many times, but it is true though. This sound is absolutely amazing. I'm obsessed with it. But there's also another sound inside of the Monster Compendium video that was revealed as well. Let's take a listen to this one. This one's a bit more harder to hear though, so make sure to listen close, guys. Thank you to Logan Peters once again there. That sound, it's a lot more different over the jaw harp instrument that initially played. It is in fact a drum kit percussion sound. So it looks like this Faerie Island Paironormal that we have here is going to be of many facets. It's going to have not just the jaw harp instrument, but it's also going to have this drum kit percussion sound. And with the jaw harp instrument, oh my goodness, it feels so circus-like, and just like, it feels like this is going to be the main attribute behind this Faerie Island Paironormal that we're going to have. It links towards a certain fan-made monster that we all know and love as well, and that is Fhool'Djuu. Fhool'Djuu is an absolute fan favorite, and he actually played a jaw harp-like instrument as well, and I'm actually so obsessed with it for that reason. And I would love for them to therefore go down an almost circus-like route, especially with just the playful tone behind this instrument. And Faerie Island itself having such a playful atmosphere, it feels like a circus-like monster is something that the game absolutely thrives on. When we have a monster like yeah, or even Hula come along, is automatically a fan favorite, and therefore I am super hoping that this one might take it inside of that direction as well. Make it a jester, lively, energetic on Faerie Island, capture that atmosphere really well. Jester heart, large lip animations as well to capture that jaw hop sound. Something that Fhool'Djuu did really well was those lip animations. But also accelerating on that with facial expressions, conveying that happy tone, especially when you go on over to that mirror variant, having it have, instead of a jester-like makeup with clown, oh, happy, make it have droopy mascara. Yes. I just watched SNL Live with Lady Gaga, and they had a mascara commercial where it easily fell off your face. That is exactly the kind of mirror variant action that I need from this Paironormal. Happy, entertaining, huge facial expressions, reds, greens, yellows, simulate those bright colors. Make it really sad on the Mirror Island compared to its happy counterpart to counter with Fiddler there, and oh my goodness, that is a setup that I'm going to absolutely adore. Purples on the mirror variant, dark colors, absolutely just rained away. It's that scary imagery as well of a clown being on that Mirror Island. Now that is going to be scary. That the scariness is going to return. And I was actually browsing YouTube. I've got so many references today that I'm going to bring up. It's just how it worked out, yeah. But I also was browsing YouTube and I saw this thumbnail by Polus, and they've made a clown-like Paironormal, and that's honestly an accurate fit, I think, behind what I would love this Paironormal to be. But what do we know about the design behind this? Going away from MPG theories here. Well, if we go on back to the Department of Monster Anomalies video, we have another design preview inside of this image, but I think that there's nothing there. But if I up the brightness on it, it reveals an eye. I have to, mind you though, you have to up the brightness quite a bit. But an eye is visible here, and this eye is an important feature, I do think. If you look at the eye, you can see that the pupil is actually humongous inside of this. It reminds me of the Dawn of Fire baby forms. It is genuinely that big. And the eyes inside of that game, they are absolutely humongous to capture the baby aesthetic. So to say that the pupil is quite big here, it could be hinting that eyes may be quite prevalent over this design and they might be used a lot. I'd take this with a grain of salt though, especially if we go on over towards the end of the videos. We have another teaser here. Let's take a listen to what you guys can hear though. So with that short snippet, you might recognize it, you might not, but this is actually Morse code. If we put this therefore into a Morse code translator to see what we can get here, they are doing some crazy things. First the ethereal countdown, now this. It's absolutely wild, Joe. But if we get the Morse code back here, we have some coordinates, and if you put them into Google, you can find that this is a sculpture park that is referencing here. A sculpture park, you see? Well, at first you might think, how on earth does this link towards the monster itself? But I do think this actually might be the biggest hint that we have overall as of yet for this Paironormal, at least over the sounds. The sounds are probably the most important thing. But design-wise, as if we look at sculptures themselves, you might think, okay, but if we look at Harriet and what they were founded upon, it actually starts to piece itself together a lot. For Harriet, they were based on puppetry, and then handcrafted element that it was based on. And then through the element of control, this handcrafted element was able to be brought to life. So whether it's metalwork or otherwise, I think this handiwork element behind the Faerie Island Paironormal is going to be that it is a sculpture. And I think this honestly reminds me so much of the Wizard of Oz, Tin Man and Scarecrow, bringing these inanimate objects to life. Just like what Harriet did through the puppetry, I feel like this might become a fashion across all of the Paironormals, and honestly, this is such an exciting concept, as if we revel in that a little bit more, it honestly feels like we might have the elements be based off of how we are bringing these handiwork components to life as well. So for example, Harriet control, those puppet strings, that puppet master that was in its description as described, we don't know who it is as of yet who might be controlling them, right? But it was through the element of control that this monster could be brought to life. So the question with this sculpture aesthetic to me is how is this element going to be brought to life? An element, you see, as I do think the element behind it is how this is going to come to life, right? The very essence behind it. And when I'm thinking about bringing a sculpture to life, automatically, the thing that I go to is actually the form of animation. The expression of moving a statue individually is what I think this element is going to be, the element of animation. I love that idea. It's such a fundamental, basic building block behind the game. It foundations basically every single monster, every single feature behind the game, and to have it be an element itself, there's so many possibilities here, and therefore I love it. You could animate in unique ways, having this element, creating a new kind of synergy inside of the game. This sculpture, come on, imagine the kind of movements it could make, the amount of prowess that you could feature in bringing a sculpture to life, and especially that expressiveness that could come along with it. That stiffness and stillness could really be captured inside of the mirror form to bring the animations to life, especially when we were looking at Harriet on the Mirror Islands. I found that their design was so creepy, but conveying that with the animation itself is really what I think this monster is going to do absolutely phenomenally well. Capturing that eerie, mesmerizing performance that I think that street statue performers actually do in cities as well. You often come across them inside of cities where people will be acting as statues and you think, are you actually a statue? I genuinely can't tell sometimes. And then you look at them and you're like, oh no, this is a real person performing. I feel like that might be the kind of mesmerizing feature that this Faerie Island Paironormal is trying to convey inside of it. I mean, the mirror variant, the minor form, right? It's supposed to be so creepy. So imagining that stiffness as it slides its way along, and oh, you get all of that roboticness almost to it. That would be creepy. Oh my goodness, imagine the face going, oh my god, that is creepy. Other elements that I could see outside of animation, that is the best one here, right? But other elements I could see maybe carving or forging in order to bring this sculpture to life. It's going to be interesting if they do go down this path. I think it leaves a lot of room to theories as well. I hope that they do choose to, as honestly, this is fascinating. And I think this is what this teaser is hinting towards here. Honestly, just put the performer and gesture idea into this sculpture as well. And you've got so much going on here. Animation, gesture, element. Oh my god, my brain is already exploding right here. But let's look at some fan-made designs that we have. So first up, we have Ghostympa's Goblet design. I absolutely love the way that this one captured that Faerie Island aesthetic. I loved reacting to this one. It's so good, man. The idea of it being quite bejeweled and actually embracing currency inside of its pot was really cool as well. The main feature that I actually really love behind Goblet, though, the most is probably how it conflicts with its mirror variant form. Over in its minor form, we can see that the Paironormal is actually flipped. It's a flip coin, right? And I love that behind it. Quite literally a flip coin here, right? The pot takes control over the creature inside of it as we see that become quite smaller inside of the mirror variant. Overall, a really huge contrast in design here by Timpa. I love the individual animated components and just how much dynamism is felt between each form here. They are both so different, so hugely major well done to Timpa there. Definitely I am waiting though to see a scary feeling Paironormal, as that is what this class is foundation upon, and it feels like the Fanmades, they are too cute. Especially if we go on to Riles' Trickerish design here. Trickerish, oh my goodness, they are so cute. But at the same time, we need the scariness. That's what the Paironormals are here for in the Mirror Islands. We've got the element of deceit here. I can see that Riles was trying to be scary, but Riles just can't be scary. And I love that about the community. I mean, I would want it cute as well. We need some scariness for the Paironormals. Trickerish, they are based on a cat almost. It's very in Riles' style, as they love cats as well. We have it being a marshmallow almost, the design, with some cute whiskers I like to catalyst, lollipops surrounding it. And then if we go on over to the minor form here, we've got to have more scariness. This one, it looks like it is very spootical themed. It's got a witch cap, and one of its eyes is actually throwing away. I mean, God bless this poor soul. And then it's got what looks to be licorice, I believe, in the middle of it, rather than a marshmallow. Hugely well done to Riles there. I love how it's animated as well. Riles is a You're improving it. I love you so much. We also have Astroshock's design. They've been pointing out to me to go and watch these. I'm so sorry, Astro, but I will put you in my theory video. We've got Tricky Easter here, based on a bear, very magician-like. I feel like this would also be quite a nice fit, wouldn't it, if we don't get that Ed Jester almost vibe on this island. And then we also have a smog-like cloud for the minor variant. I love how much of a difference we have also here, but also we're keeping that little top hat there. That's something we just need to have always, all right? As for what else is coming inside of Cloverspell, if we go on over to some new promotional imagery, we have for Magical March, an event where the rare magicals are going to be coming back. We have this promotional art for the rare magicals, but if we look at the very back here, you can see a new monster poking out. I've seen people saying, is this a Paironormal? No, it is not. If we take a close look at this monster, you can work out two pairs of eyes, and these are quite familiar. If I put Pladdie on screen right now, you can see a direct match here. Lucky for us, but it's not an epic helmet situation right now. But the hair on this, where does the hair come from? The Banjo-Kazooie vibes have just left Pladdie down. The hair, I will say, on the teaser itself, it looks like it is going to be a very core component behind the monster. You can see that it's very textured, and it looks almost Medusa-like, and I do not think this is by chance here. When I first looked at it, I've got to be real here, I thought it was a clown. I thought that Rare Pladdie is going to be a clown, but no. It looks like the hair might actually be Medusa-like and have a serpentine feel behind it. Having individual snakes perhaps coming from it, or snake-like components, is what I would expect from this. And going back to films, how you often find that there is an old lady or whatever hunched over and with her back, and she has a stick and she's portraying this snake to come out of the pot, this ancient cursed vase. I think that is the kind of vibe that you're trying to establish with Rare Pladdie here.
Oh, hello, my lovely. Oh, snakes for you. Oh, snakes for you.
Perhaps, therefore, with the pipes that come from Pladdie, we could have serpentine-like coils that raise up amongst Pladdie when it plays its sounds, to also mimic how snakes stand up to when they can be swiveled in all kinds of directions here, and therefore the hair as well coming from this pot, what Pladdie might represent, as its body I do think could represent that cursed-like vase that you see. Honestly, with Pladdie, I was so intrigued because it feels like Rare Pladdie would have a hard time because it's just so based around the bagpipes itself, but having this be established inside of the design, this cursed vase almost, I think that is the exact kind of direction that this design could really benefit from. Replicate that cursed artifact likeness inside the design, have it be a vase almost popping up and down. God bless Pladdie. We love you, Pladdie. But actually for this, we usually put fan-made designs up, right? But I've never really done this before, but we actually have my design up on screen. I made this a few years ago. Well, actually, pretty much like every Cloverspell year, I've been predicting that Pladdie will arrive. Finally, it is coming, and I will be correct this time. Woohoo! It feels like I've predicted this thing for years. I actually genuinely haven't. It's actually coming this time. But this Cloverspell-like design, though, I have themed it around Cloverspell itself. St. Patrick's Day, it has a huge theming behind bagpipes. You see them being played everywhere. And therefore, I think absolutely, even if it's not in the rare form, at least it doesn't look like it. Inside of the epic form, I would absolutely expect for them to portray that, especially with Pladdie being on Faerie Island. It's too good of an opportunity. You've got to have this sometime or other, even if it's just a costume. I think this is a kind of representation that I would absolutely adore. We got a little bow here, leaf coming from it, ears. I don't know where the ears came from. I'm looking at this now and I'm like, why are the ears? Oh, and then we also have another teaser for Cloverspell. If we go on over to the Behind the Facade promotion, even more people asking, is this the Paironormal? No, it's not the Paironormal. But Jumpler is looking off into the distance here, and we have what looks to be a huge St. Patrick's Day Cloverspell hat here. It looks very reminiscent of the bagpipe players that play on St. Patrick's Day. If you look at the images for those, they've absolutely took reference there and done that. absolutely amazing fit for Drumpler, I will say as well, as this is Drumpler's costume. There is little to no doubt here, guys. It looks like there is some kind of embellishment coming from the right side of it, which might be in replacement of the ears. I'm quite intrigued behind this. We always have a costume in the teasers most of the time, and then the costume monster actually looking at the costume itself. So this is what this is going to be. You can also see how much of a good fit the cap would be for Drumpler. Just the instrument, the way it sounds, it feels like a perfect fit for this monster. The Paironormal, baby, the Paironormal. Oh my goodness, we have another one. I just need another Paironormal / Titan Soul. It feels like we have needed this for so long because these classes have not been advanced on, it feels like, in a while, and I'm really excited behind this one. The Paironormals, they are absolutely going to be amazing. I love the contrast between them. They're so good. I feel like this one is going to be more contributive over Harriet. It feels like this is going to do a lot more inside of the song. Even design-wise and animation-wise, it feels like this might be a step up, which really does excite me, especially with it being Faerie Island. I like Faerie Island. I'm really excited. I also love the Department of Monster Anomalies lore that we have got inside of this. Honestly, piecing together the idea that I have the theory right, the elements themselves might be what is bringing these monsters to life. If we continue like Harriet did, where we are referencing, oh, what is actually controlling the strings? And then for this new one, oh, what is actually animating it? Maybe the Department of Monster Anomalies has much more of a deeper effect here, and that might be what they are teasing all along. I'm just pointing things out here. What if they are the ones controlling? Well, I guess we'll see. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure to leave a like down below. But for now, we are going to look at Faerie Island full song prediction, and I'm also going to play the sounds upon the end here for the new Paironormal as well. I will see you guys on Wednesday, though.